Abundance by Naomi King. We know there's a great abundance in our world, a great abundance of suffering, of people homeless, hungry, frightened, lonely, in danger, sick, exhausted, and wondering where this abundant suffering shall cease. We know that there's a great abundance in our world, a great abundance of love, of people caring, building homes for those who need them, feeding folks who hunger, and comforting folks who are frightened, inviting folks who are lonely into our company, creating peace and safety zones, healing and being with the sick, and welcoming the weary to take a place of rest. We are the people of abundance. People who have known suffering and will know suffering. We are the people of abundance. People who have known love and offer our love as a blessing for our world. As we receive disappointment, anguish, and anger, we transform those curses into blessings of hope, joy, and love. As we offer those blessings to this world, so our blessings increase. A smile of gratitude eases our hearts. A dance of joy sweeps us into the circle, and the light of this chalice changes our world. We are the change we wish to see through what we give. What change will you be to bless this world with? So week 3 is transformation. And next week we'll take a break for Reverend Michael to come, and then we'll have the week 4, the final week of 30 days on the side of love. So my personal transformations have been difficult at times, even unwanted at times, and good at times. I personally have transformed many times throughout my life. I became a parent at the age of 41. I thought I would adopt 2 wonderful boys and everything would be perfect. I would raise them and take care of them the way I was raised. Well, the way I was raised was I'm the parent to do what I say. That doesn't work with boys who at the age of 8 and 9 never had a stable family. I had to change completely my ideas of how I would parent. At the age of 50, I finally decided to be true to myself and have gender confirmation surgery to align my body with my mind. This alteration of my body was difficult for some of my family, but I felt that the caterpillar that was freed from his cocoon and transformed into a magnificent butterfly. The simplest news about transformation seems self-explanatory, but it is the part that we often understand rationally but cannot absorb. It is this: when we transform, we are not who we were before. We have to let go of who that person was, how we move in the world, how we respond to what we encounter. It is indeed a repeating and ongoing process. The political moment in this country is crying out for us to transform. Many of us feel we thought we knew what was being asked of us before Election Day 2016. We thought we had a sense of our role, our place. Many of us thought to ourselves before that day, I go here or there, I do this, I work with my congregation, I protest, I organize, I give my time. I do good stuff in my neighborhood, I am a good parent, I'm a good daughter, son, child, descendant, I do my part. In the aftermath, so many of us have had different reactions. But very few of those thought, as we have watched resistant massive erosion of the rights, dignity, and safety of Muslims, undocumented people, activists, LGBTQ communities. I will stay the same now. I will do what I have done before. I will continue as I was. Many of us feel the urge to do more, resist more, build more, and act more. That does not always mean that we know how. Transformation requires our hearty participation and also our letting go. In this moment, some of it starts with acknowledging that no one who shares our values really feels that they know what to do. I respect that most are willing to admit they do not have the perfect one-size-fits-all answer, but they are also willing to grow into the leaders the moment calls for. When we transform, we let go of things we thought we would hold on to forever. We do things that we thought we never would. We are often uncomfortable. At times, we feel the transformation will never happen. Times move so slowly. Other times, things change all at once. We are in a time when millions of people are seeking to be engaged in justice-loving social change work. Our congregations, our communities, and our organizations will need to transform in order to absorb and respond. We need to transform beyond egos, individuals, and our stuck ideas about thinking we have the corner on all the answers. What we do know for sure is that if we are focusing our energy on the future and reflecting on how this time will be looked back in the future, most of us want to be able to tell our truth and tell our faith communities and our families and our people that we were willing to transform to meet the moment. that we did not let the shape of who we had been before and what we had done keep us from transforming into who we need to be now. In her sermon, Wandering Pilgrimage, Susan Megan expresses she has always had a fantasy about going to the airport with just the clothes on her back, an ID, a credit card, and a toothbrush. Imagine going through the revolving door, walking up to the counter, and looking up at the day's flight schedule as if you were looking at a menu in a coffee shop. But instead of choosing coffee, you are choosing a destination. Will it be Asia, Europe, South America, Africa? What if today's worship service ended in that way? What would we each be given if we were all given an all-expense-paid trip to the pilgrimage site of your choice? And in the church parking lot, there would be an airport shuttle. Have you ever thought about going on a pilgrimage? Where would you go? Many Jews and Christians go on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. Zen Buddhists go to Japan, and pagans travel to Greece. There is even a Catholic nun who was retired from her many years in chaplaincy and celebrated her retirement by walking El Camino de Santiago in Spain. There are regular Unitarian-Universalist pilgrimages to Transylvania to see our Unitarian cousins. UUs travel through the Deep South to see where the Civil Rights movement began, as well as to Boston to see the roots of Unitarian history in this country. But pilgrimages are not always about religious roots. Bill Sinkford, the former UUA president, and other UUs went to Africa to see where millions of the strongest Africans, possibly their ancestors, were gathered and held captive before putting up as cargo into the Middle Passage of the ships. There are people who are walking the Pacific Crest Trail, which begins in Mexico and follows the Sierra and Cascade Mountain ranges all the way to Canada. There are stories of Vietnam veterans still haunted by traumatic memories of war, who have returned to Vietnam decades later, and throughout their travels they find some peace and some closure. Susan has a friend from Cuba who went to St. Lazarus Church, where thousands of people go for healing. Her friend had a brain cup which was 10 years long and brought it as an offering to honor his grateful celebration for how his wife had finished her cancer treatment and was returning to life with a renewed vitality. What I imagine on all these trips have in common is the intention of stepping away from the daily routines of ordinary time and space by going on a trip, but the trip is not a vacation. A vacation helps us to let go of our familiar lives, giving us a sense of perspective, novelty, respite, and renewal. While a pilgrimage is really a spiritual practice, yet stepping away from our present, but with the intention of touching the truth of the past, while rededicating our future towards a holy purpose. Are you wondering about what kind of pilgrimage you'll go on today? You might want to consider, what does a pilgrimage really mean for Unitarian Universalists? After all, we find the holy in so much. We Unitarian Universalists are wandering pilgrims. There is no Mecca for us to face during prayer. There is no one single shrine that we approach with our bodies bent in prayer. There is no spit of land that is sacred above all others. There is no holiest of holies. We Unitarian Universalists are her funny people. We find a strange comfort in the uncertainty of never knowing where the holy might show up. Could it be in the ancient scriptures, or could it be in contemporary poetry, or in a blog post even? Just as prophetic words are not limited to one book, holiness is not limited to one building. Yes, the holy can be experienced in dedicated moments. Historic sites, national parks, but can just as easily be found in the backyard or in the alley behind the apartment building. So if the holy can show up when and where you least expect it, then what makes one place more holy than another? What makes one place more worthy of pilgrimage than another? For some people, a place is made holy by the historic significance or the religious tradition of a place. Perhaps this site was built by architects and artists who had the intention of creating holy space, and perhaps over time, thousands, perhaps even millions of people have visited the site with reverence. For such pilgrims, holiness can be inspired by a sense that you are not alone. You are standing toward the end of a long line that reaches back for many years, many centuries even. As you settle into such a space, you may realize that holiness is not intimately present in a building, a city, or even an entire area of land. Holiness is in the eye of the beholder. One person's pilgrimage site is another person's sightseeing. Going to Transylvania will be a very different experience for Unitarians than it would be for Hindus. Going to Jerusalem will be very different for Christians than it would be for Buddhists. But one thing is clear. If it is a true pilgrimage, then your love for life will be affirmed in this place. The ground is made holy wherever the ground of your being is made whole. I think the closest I ever came to a pilgrimage was when I went to Arizona and New Mexico when I was in seminary. At the time, I did not believe I would ever find what people call their spirituality or their spiritual journey. I was on the last day of my 2 weeks there, and I had given up. I would never find any spirituality within myself or by connecting with the desert and Native Americans. But at the last moment, we decided to make a stop at the Center for Action and Contemplation in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The center is run by a Franciscan priest, Father Richard Rohr, who is grounded in the Franciscan alternative orthodoxy. He has practices of contemplation and self-emptying, expressing itself in radical compassion, particularly for the socially marginalized. It is there that I was so transformed by walking a labyrinth. I met the spirits of many animals I had encountered in the past 2 weeks. I brought my newfound spirituality home with me, and it changed my life forever. Perhaps this piece about brokenness and wholeness is an important one to consider before we choose our pilgrimage. Are we going on a pilgrimage as someone who is broken, seeking wholeness? Or are we going as someone who is whole, seeking to bless a broken world? Elizabeth Russell embarked on such a pilgrimage. The project was called Gaia's Witness. She and a group of women traveled to toxic sites in the western United States. They went to acknowledge the broken vows between humanity and Earth. They went as human ambassadors of beauty to these traumatized corners of the world, to bear witness and deliver a blessing to the earth. I'm also reminded of the renowned peace pilgrim who has been called a 20th century St. Francis of Assisi. She took the following vow in 1953, to remain a wanderer until mankind has learned the way of peace, walking until given shelter and fasting until given food. She traveled without any money and without aligning with any particular organization. Peace Pilgrim walked over 25,000 miles throughout North America, beginning in 1953 and ending when she died in 1981. She walked to share her simple message for complete disarmament for each person and for each nation. Think about the giant sequoias in Yosemite. These 300-foot seemingly indomitable ancient beings have weathered hundreds of years of storms and fires. But in recent years, scientists have started to climb the trees for the first time so they can test the treetops for signs of stress from climate change. The trees might not be getting enough water. They each absorb about 1 ton of water every single day. Do they move you to offer a blessing and whisper, "All things are impermanent," as the ancient Buddhist teaching goes? All things are impermanent. They arise and they pass away. The trees, me, all beings, we arise and we pass away. Maybe I'll be blessed with an echoing in my soul with what it means to speak to the trees, for they have no tongues. We Unitarian Universalists are people of the wandering pilgrimage. We wander in the ways of love as best we know them today, wandering toward wholeness, healing, and transformation, becoming our deepest and truest selves together, knowing we will stumble along the way and we will restore one another. So the shuttle is leaving after coffee hour today. Where are you going to go? What would be the embodiment of your spiritual journey? Would you come broken, seeking wholeness? Or would you come whole, ready to give a blessing? Whether or not we ever plan a grand trip to a faraway land, why not live each day as if we were on a wandering pilgrimage right now? Because we are. Any day can be a day of relishing the triumphs of the soul, and our greatest pilgrimage sites might be much closer than we know. Life holds many transformations in store for us. As youth, you are in the process of transforming from children to adults. Our Unitarian Universalist living faith is in the process of almost constant transformation as we process our life experiences and make meaning of them. We do not know this is in isolation. Part of the transformation process involves community. Our lives in community provide reflection of ourselves and others. It provides opportunities for us to practice ways of being in the world, including living out our UU values. Who are we on the inside that can be transformed by our experiences in community, and our communities are transformed by what individuals bring to them? As Joan said when she was here, she reminded us that the UU Church in Worcester is not called the UU Church of Worcester. It is called the UU Church of Wayne County, and it encompasses the whole county. So we don't have to limit ourselves to being the First Universalist Church of Westfield Center. If we feel like it, we could be the transforming First Universalist Church of all of Medina County. listing number 146.
It had to reuse all of the information.